The following podcast contains alcohol-enhanced conversations about alcohol, as well as a potential for discussions about other topics of dubious, disturbing, possibly offensive, but usually hilarious interest. The opinions stated herein are solely of the person stating them, and any endorsement of these opinions by any other party is not implied. Foul language is likely, but intolerant viewpoints are not. Listener intoxication is advised. Hello and welcome to the lucky number 13 episode of the Whiskey Tangent Podcast. I'm Scott.
And I'm Ed.
And tonight we thought we'd delve into the realm of 10-year bourbons, and we've chosen two that have the same exact mash bill and yet are distilled by two different companies. One of them won the San Francisco World Whiskey Championship, and the other is sort of an also-ran, and Ed is here to tell you which bourbons we chose.
Yeah, Scott, thanks. We have chosen from the Wild Turkey Distillery, Russel's Reserve, a 10-year expression named after Jimmy and Eddie Russel, particularly Jimmy Russel, who's been the master distiller there for 62 years. He's also in the Whiskey Hall of Fame, and damn if Scott and I don't want to be in the motherfucking Whiskey Hall of Fame.
I didn't even know there was
I didn't know there was one, but
yeah.
I want to be in there now. So start campaigning now for the Whiskey Tangent Podcast. Hopefully class 2034 or something. We'll be in there. I don't know what color jacket you give me, but just give me some free whiskey.
Whiskey Podcast Division.
So basically, they say that there's more than 90 years of experience in this based on Jimmy and his son Eddie. That's their combined tenure of master distillers. They hand select barrels after at least 10 years of aging, resulting in a bourbon that delivers a balance of rich, spicy vanilla flavors, and their experience guarantees yours.
Their experience guarantees your experience?
Yeah.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
It's like a puzzle.
It's a 90 proof, and even though the mash bill is the same, the proof is not the same. The other one that we chose was the one that's been making waves and kicking ass and taking names.
Absolutely.
The Henry McKenna 10-year single barrel Kentucky straight bottled in bond bourbon whiskey from our old friends at Heaven Hill. Okay.
And Ed, I think we should also introduce, for the fourth podcast in a row and fifth of the last six, we have a guest.
Right. Joining us, the ever popular, ever effervescent mayor of Jackie's Crossing.
Joining us once again, you last heard her in the previous short about the Basil Hayden Caribbean rum.
Touched expression.
Touched. Rum touched?
Yeah, it was touched. That's what it said on the bottle.
Okay, maybe we should say hi to Siobhan. Hi,
Siobhan.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
So patient, waiting for our long, drawn-out intro.
I know, she's like mouthing to me, can I talk now? It's like,
Yeah,
no,
I
wait.
I wanted to add something, but
Oh, did you?
Like,
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Go ahead, add it now, please.
So you talk about these two items having the same.
Mash bill.
For those of us out there who may not be familiar with mash bill, what exactly does that mean?
Scott, please.
Okay, so the mash bill is the grains that make up what went into the fermentation of the bourbon. Legally, for bourbon, it must be 51% corn. At least. It could be anything else aside from that.
Okay.
So for these two bourbons, the mash bill is 75% corn, 13% rye, which is usually used as a flavor grain.
Got it.
Sometimes wheat is also used.
Okay.
And 12% malted barley. And the malted barley is generally used as a fermentation enhancer.
Okay.
It helps break down the sugars, which is eventually processed into the alcohol.
Right. It has the enzymes and the yeast and it has to deal with all that.
That's the malted part.
Does that help with the smoothness of the actual drink, or is it just more of a flavor issue?
No, it's...
with the malted barley, you mean?
Yeah.
No, that actually kickstarts the fermentation process.
It does have flavor, though.
Okay.
It does have flavor, absolutely.
Because, Siobhan, all scotches, not all scotches, because you can't, there's not all of anything, but most scotches are all malted barley.
Right.
And Irish whiskeys are a
barley.
mix of barley and malted barley.
Okay.
Right.
So you can get tremendous flavor from just malted barley.
Correct.
But most American whiskeys are 4 to 5%. For this to be 12, it is a uniqueness, and it's interesting that they both would adopt the exact same mash bill.
That's what's so surprising to me.
Shocking.
75, 13, and 12.
Absolutely.
Those are really specific numbers for both of them
Right.
to have.
Yeah, that's very unique, clearly.
Right. We have Russell's in our glass right now. Siobhan does not, so she is
I
abstaining.
am abstaining from drinking anymore.
She's here for
now.
the overall estrogen essence that
The
she
ambiance.
provides.
Correct.
Because it's pretty much a wood pile around here. Do you want to
Really-
taste it at all, though?
I will taste it.
Yeah,
Yeah, just a sip.
Strong.
That is very strong.
It's strong. What is it, 90?
The Russell's is 90.
Yeah. It is pretty alcohol forward.
Do you ever find that it makes your lips pucker? I like how they both the same time. That's very intriguing.
That's
Not
interesting.
so much sour, but a reaction that my
Yeah,
lip
it
kinda
could just be the alcohol
okay.
itself is so strong that your mouth is like rebelling against it.
Could be. It's like wowzers. Could
What,
be.
you're mostly a vodka drinker?
Yes,
Yeah,
I am.
you're a vodka drinker.
Yeah.
What's your favorite
vodka?
vodka?
Tito's.
Tito's.
Handmade vodka.
Yeah. That's
Why
right.
Tito's?
Triple distilled.
Triple distilled, yes. Like most Irish whiskeys are triple distilled. Yeah.
Are most? I know that my boys at Tullamore are.
Yeah, most are.
Yeah, that is my favorite. I do drink wine on occasion. I'm not, but I do enjoy rum
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. As mentioned in the short.
And if you did not hear it,
And if you didn't hear that episode, just go back and listen to it. Random belligerents redo.
I've heard that somewhere.
Yeah,
before.
somewhere before.
I wanted to hit on something real quick.
Ed's going to actually give you knowledge.
It comes up a lot. We talk about on the label, it says Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. A straight bourbon whiskey must conform to the standards prescribed in the definition of whiskey and bourbon. Those which have been stored in new charred white oak barrels, prescribed for a period of 2 years or more, shall be further designated as straight. And the other thing that we
But also
mentioned-
Kentucky, and it has to be distilled in Kentucky to be Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
Right. Well, yes, it can be bourbon styled everywhere else.
Right.
Kentucky.
And that's the Russells you're talking about.
No, it's actually both.
But the McKenna is also further
Bottled
Bourbon
on.
bond.
And what that means is the whiskey must be bottled at exactly 100 proof, aged for a minimum of 4 years, be a product of one distillery, and distilled during a single season. Today, the spring season is defined as January through June, and the fall season is July through December. Also, the DSP numbers of both the production and bottling facility must be stated on each bottle. The result of these laws makes bonded the most restricted of all bourbon types.
Very interesting.
We just dropped some knowledge on your business.
So we did the Russell first because the Henry McKenna's been really, causing a rustle out there, no pun intended, in the whiskey world.
Who the McKenna caused the Russell?
Yeah, that's right. And drawing a lot of attention to itself.
So
we
good.
figured, we let the challenger here, Russell, which definitely is getting a name for itself. It has a lot of fans. It just hasn't hit as fast and hard as the Henry McKenna.
Yeah, I mean, it's won some awards. The last one, it seems to, from the website, was in 2014. So it's sort of been a while for the Russell.
Yeah. It just won the Siobhan High Alcohol Award.
It really did.
It did. So what do you guys think about it?
Let's taste it.
Yeah.
What
on the,
what are the notes that you get when you smell
When I
it?
smell it, I get a little bit of pepper and a little cinnamon, maybe. I'm getting like some baking spices, but it's not overly sweet. I get a lot of spice and pepper on my tongue.
I get a little bit of cherry, definitely vanilla, of course, as all bourbons.
But it doesn't really have a traditional bourbon for having so much corn. It's not corn forward. Can you agree on that?
Yeah, I mean, 10 years aged, you might be also expected to have a lot of wood flavor.
Yeah, oak.
A lot of oak. But I'm not detecting a
I'm
lot
getting
of
a lot
that.
of rye in this, and yet it's a heavy corn.
Yeah, a lot of spiciness. Yeah, I agree. And that might be the 10-year coming out in it. So our pal at the Whiskey Jug, who we like to look up, interestingly, he gave both of these a 90 out of 100. So
It's a
talking
very
about
high score.
Yeah, talking about like the two we chose having the same mash bill and our favorite whiskey reviewer also giving it the exact same score. And they're both 10 years. And by the way, Siobhan is here because she's exactly 10 years younger than both of us.
Right, and what that means is that we were her
That's the point.
age when these were bottled.
Yeah.
These were put into the oak barrels. We were exactly as old as her.
Do you remember what you were doing 10 years ago around this
Oh
time
my
at
God!
all?
10 years ago.
Yeah, it would be August 2009. I was still married. I still had a house and money. It was amazing.
I know exactly. Ed, do you remember? So I came down the shore to visit you and your wife to tell you that Janine and I had separated.
Yes.
Yeah, and I stayed at the shore house, and
Yes.
you guys were just very gracious. Sandy was
Yeah.
so sweet because the four of us actually hung out.
Oh, yeah, sure.
A little bit. Like we went out to dinner and
Right, we did couple stuff.
Yeah, because
no, of course.
Yeah.
A whole different lifetime again.
thanks, Yvonne, for bringing it up. It's
Oh,
very
you're
sad.
very welcome. I mean, I didn't
I'm
mean...
going to cry now.
Please don't.
No, it's fine.
I can't believe we went 12 episodes
Fine.
and somehow my ex-wife's name ended up on the podcast.
Finally,
Oh, I'm
it's
sorry.
finally appearing.
That'll be
I'm sorry.
edited out.
I'll edit that out.
Well, how about this? How about we go to, well, I guess it wouldn't matter. Even if I said, let's go to a different month in that year.
Well,
No, it's too
Yeah,
late now.
it's too late
too
now.
late.
I
Yeah.
mean, so that's August. In December is when I separate.
Right.
Oh my
right.
gosh, are you
Yeah.
serious?
Scott's like the harbinger of doom.
I was. I'm like the Grim Reaper. Your marriage will end. You have no idea. Oh shit!
All right, it's time to go to the next one, man.
No. We're going to talk about the news. So we're gonna say,
Okay, I'm sorry.
sorry. We're going to say what the whiskey jug said.
All right, then I'm drinking more Russels then. I just didn't know
Absolutely.
which one to pour. I just wanna know-
Oh, absolutely. So on the nose, he said, very sweet. Initially, you get smacked in the olfactory.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
slightly medicinal vanilla and toffee.
I don't know if medicinal is a proper term, but it definitely goes with what she said about it being kind of alcohol forward when you first drink it.
But if you give it a second to breathe, other wonderful scents start to emerge. Hints of red licorice, maraschino cherries,
No. Not a little
almonds, or marzipan start to unfold.
No.
And build up a potpourri of bourbony goodness.
bit. I'll
Not
agree with
once
that.
did I taste any Twizzlers
No,
in that.
this is the nose. This is just how it smells.
No.
Oh, I didn't smell any
Oh, here.
Twizzlers either.
You want to smell it? There you go.
Yeah, smell it all day. You're not going to smell Twizzlers, but go ahead.
Ed, you'll like this. On the palate,
Will I?
a menage a trois of toffee, vanilla, and spice.
So maybe
Yes.
that was
absolutely.
So maybe
I
that was
agree
like
with
my
all that.
lip orgasming.
Right.
I
a leporgasm.
I agree with all that, and I will say something about the Russells. It hits very strong. It's very flavor forward. It finishes a little bit weak.
Really?
And that's not terrible. I'm not beating it up, but it hits you
Right.
all in the beginning, and then when you swallow it, kind of like, it's gone.
Right.
Exactly, Ed. I agree 100%.
So he continues on, at least on the palate. I'll get to the finish. Up front, this is what a bourbon should taste like. And like I've already said, it's a classic of a bourbon flavor profile as you can get. But there's more to it than that. If you let it rest on your tongue for a second, then slowly move it around, some silky hints of corn and earthy rye start to appear, which is what you said. You said it had a spicy
I totally
rye
disagree with
trial.
him. I don't believe it's a classic bourbon at all. I think it's a very unique bourbon in the sense that it presents a lot like a rye. So I'm disagreeing with him
Okay.
on that point. A lot of what he's saying is hitting with me, but it is not a classic bourbon to me. It is a rye. It's rye forward.
I agree with you and agree to disagree with him, at least at the beginning of the palate. However, he does say earthy rye, and then he says whispers of something I can only describe as pumpkin apple pie hybrid.
Wow.
I mean,
I mean,
this guy can taste amazing things.
I mean,
Yeah,
he
he
has
really
a
can.
palate. He's got the Michelangelo palates.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
So the finish, the spice sticks around for a while, but as it fades, there's a oh, Jesus Christ. Are you fucking kidding me? Do you know French?
No, I
Siobhan?
do not. I'm sorry.
Creme de Noyaux? Noyaux? I don't know what the fuck that means. I could go to Google Translate and have her say it.
It's whatever.
Oh, I'm going to do that.
Cafe of Noyo.
Okay.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, that was helpful, Scott. Thanks for wasting 20 minutes. That
How
was
much
edited
time
out. You
did we
don't know.
spend on that?
So much time.
Dude, we were paused for like 7 minutes. I was ready to literally kill
It's
myself.
fucking stupid.
And
I'm
we
so dumb.
literally missed out on some podcast gold right there.
We did. I'm sorry.
You should have heard us fighting about him doing it off mic, which was the funniest 4 minutes we've had this hour.
All right.
So the Russell, any last thoughts on it?
The Russells.
I will say this. I watched a video on YouTube today when I was preparing. Matthew McConaughey, he's the celebrity spokesperson for Wild Turkey. Scott and I, we went to the Eagle Draft Party, and we drank Wild Turkey, Bourbon, and Rye 101. I have no idea why we both chose. I chose the Bourbon, he chose the Rye, I think. Which, by the way, the Wild Turkey 101 Bourbon is still their most popular and highest selling product, and it is what the master distiller, Jimmy Russel, says basically built their franchise on.
I mean, it's a very good, straightforward, everyday bourbon.
It's 7-8 years. It's aged.
It's not their bottom of the line Wild Turkey bourbon. It's 101. 101 means the proof.
Right. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you come across either one, the Bourbon or the Rye Wild Turkey 101, feel free to jump in. It's a nice product. And Matthew McConaughey, he's like, I'm not just going to appear in the commercials. He's actually going to like the distillery and learning the product and the tasting and
well, you got to give him credit for that. Like,
I do.
Not being a celebrity and going,
exactly.
I'll just pay me and I'll speak.
Like
he wants to go and actually do stuff
for Jim Beam, which
I look how he immerses himself in his Lincoln commercial.
I know he does.
I mean, dude.
Right. I mean, what do you think of Matthew McConaughey? You like him?
And you guys got a joint? Be a lot cooler if you did.
I do like him. I like the fact that like you can go online and see all the celebrities doing imitations of him on talk shows. Like there's something very likable about him. I feel like he would be great to hang out and party with. Like,
Absolutely.
I agree.
But would you hang out with the Matthew McConaughey now, or would you hang out with 1997 Matthew McConaughey?
I don't know. I feel like 1997 Matthew McConaughey had a mental issue. Like, he was, like, super weird.
I think...
Now he's sort of mellowed out, but he's still a cool dude.
Because he's, like, Dad McConaughey.
Right.
I think if you were hanging out with 1997 McConaughey, you would really understand who he was as a person.
That's true. But you have to prepare yourself for a ride.
Yeah.
You're going to go on a ride. You might find yourself naked on a balcony, on a beach.
Hitting
playing bongos.
Yes.
Yeah, with him talking about, like, you ever see the clouds come up over our mountain?
Time is a flat circle.
Yes. All right.
All right. You know what I like about high school girls? I get older, but they stay the same age.
So wrong.
That is great. That is a great line.
So I'm just going to run down, just really quickly, Wild Turkey's expressions.
And I want you to, but 1 second, listen, on YouTube.
Damn you!
Justified belligerence.
Okay, go ahead.
On YouTube, go and look at the 7-minute Matthew McConaughey video of him walking around Wild Turkey. And what I wanted to bring up was that the old Jimmy Russell pours Matthew McConaughey a glass of whiskey that was bottled before Prohibition. It's this little tiny bottle in his office with about 3-4 fingers left in it.
That's so cool.
And he gives him a pretty healthy pour of who knows how old it was before it was actually bottled.
I mean, it's got to be 90 years old.
It's pretty much right. So,
Jesus.
and it was just cool watching him drink. That's what a whiskey geek I am. I just sat there, wow, look at him drinking 80-year-old whiskey. So I'm sorry, Scott.
I mean, you can't just stop there. What was his reaction?
Oh, he was like, I feel like I just learned something.
All right, so the expressions that the Wild Turkey has. Wild Turkey Bourbon, they're just base stuff. Wild Turkey 101 Bourbon. Wild Turkey Rye.
Yep.
Wild Turkey 101 Rye.
Yep.
Wild Turkey Longbranch. Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit Single Barrel. Wild Turkey Revival Sherry Finished. Wild Turkey Masters Keep 17-Year. Wild Turkey Decades. Wild Turkey American Honey. Wild Turkey American Honey Sting. Russell's Reserve 10-Year Bourbon, 6-Year Rye, Single Barrel Bourbon, Single Barrel Rye, and a 2002 Barrel Proof 15-Year Bourbon. So they've got a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of variety.
And as a side note, I will say that they are owned by Pernod Ricard, which along with Diageo is the 1 and 2 of the whiskey distribution industry. So,
yep, right. So I guess we'll switch to the Henry McKenna.
Henry McKenna 10-Year, bottled in bond, straight Kentucky bourbon whiskey.
Did you pour me some?
I didn't yet.
I still have to finish mine. Yeah, I've been looking up stuff.
You're always working. A producer/host job is never done.
He's a busy person, and he does an excellent job at it.
Well, thank you, Siobhan.
You're very welcome.
You are a marvelous mayor of Jackie's Crossing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Would you like to taste some Henry McKenna?
Sure.
This is the bourbon, somewhat controversially, that won the San Francisco World Spirits Competition this year.
Right, and this is from the same family that gives us Elijah Craig, which I love and Scott likes.
And actually, it won 2 awards. It won Best Single Barrel, and then it won Best Overall Whiskey. And that's why it was so controversial. This bottle cost $30 before this was announced. Totally incredible result from their tasting.
Yeah. It's now, MSREP'd at what, $32.99?
I mean, I don't know, but every place online didn't have it in stock. I went to the 3 liquor stores around me, just in like a 2-mile area, because New Jersey has a ton of liquor stores.
Yes.
We're all
We
alcohol.
love our liquor in Jersey.
We do. And only one place had it, and they had 6 bottles for $70.
Wow.
It was $69.99. I mean, this is just 4 months ago. It was $27.
The suggested price is $32.99 from the company today. All right.
Right. And you bought it down in Wildwood.
Right. I found in Rio Grande, New Jersey, at Joe Canal's Discount Liquors, $39.99, and it was the only bottle left. And I got the Russells there as well for $41.99. So I felt like I did pretty well.
It is very strong. Like it's 100 proof. You can tell that it's 100 proof. It's not masking
I think
itself.
it's smooth though.
I have to pour it over ice because what I did was I tried it neat in a rocks glass, and then I tried it neat in the neat glass. If you didn't listen to our last short about the glassware,
I need therapy.
I'm sorry, I just keep doing that.
Something's wrong.
Podcasts are to be listened to whenever you get around to listening to them. There's no pressure.
But I'm just gently informing. So
it would be
not
good
so,
if
What is your definition of gently?
It would be good
I
if
have
you
a
listen to the
strange feeling
shorts.
other
not
people-
so gently informing people.
The shorts are
That's-
informative, and they help keep you apprised of where we are with technology.
That's one of the things about our podcast. It seems that people enjoy the full length episodes more than they enjoy the shorts, but the shorts are only like 8 minutes, so
8 to 12
it's
minutes.
much more of a commitment to listen to the episodes, which is very flattering, and I'm not complaining about
Right.
it really at all. Okay, a little bit. But they're also the same level of hilarity.
I will say the shorts, for me personally, include more hilarity.
Yeah, and they're always
Why, thank you,
kind of
Siobhan.
informative.
You're very welcome. Scott.
Have I mentioned that you're a great mayor?
Oh, well, thanks. Golly.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Ed?
Yes.
What else can we say about Henry McKenna? The liquor itself.
Well, let's take a little olfactory test.
Yeah.
I'm getting butterscotch
Are you?
as a difference to what I normally smell, and vanilla and caramel, but
Yeah, I'd agree with a butterscotch.
and I do not feel like, even though it's 100 proof, I don't find it overwhelming, and I feel like I'm way more proof sensitive than you are normally, because you have a little bit more of a muted palate when it comes to proof.
Yeah, I agree with you on the aroma.
I find it to be delicious.
I
It's
enjoy
very
it.
sweet. Now here's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Same mash bill as Russell's Reserve. It's way sweeter, way more corn, way more bourbon. To me, this is a traditional perfect bourbon expression when you sip it. Like, this is what a bourbon should taste like.
So let's talk about what the whiskey jug guy said about this particular one. On the eye, caramel. Then on the nose, a nice wood-driven nose peppered with notes of vanilla, caramel, rye spice, cinnamon, clove, butterscotch, and some light dark fruit. Add a splash of water, and the butterscotch gets more prominent.
Right, which is what I did
While the
because I had it on the rocks.
While the spice dying down a bit, and a hint of red licorice creeps in. He likes his red licorice.
He
There
keeps throwing it
goes
in
the
there.
red
Yeah.
Twizzlers again.
Here, Siobhan, try it now that it's kind of been watered down a bit.
Definitely more palatable.
It
Still
deli-
has a very nice linger to it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, Scott.
it's a delicious whiskey.
The flavor stays way longer than the Russell.
It doesn't
Perfect
bite you
example. If you
immediately.
could sip a Russell's and then sip this, you would see what I mean.
Right, the Russell sort of dies out.
And I think that that's what people were seeing, that when they got the awards that it got.
Yeah, so the palate, he says, like the nose, it's wood-driven with notes of dark fruit, vanilla, rye spice, red licorice, butterscotch, and cardamom. What does cardamom taste like? A little water brings out the red licorice. Again with the red licorice. I don't taste any fucking red licorice. Do you guys taste
No,
it?
I mean, he needs to shut his fucking mouth
There's
about
no
the red licorice.
No,
Twizzlers.
hey.
in this.
No, why? Why are you defending him?
I don't know. I don't know him.
Is his name in that?
No.
Listen, whoever you are, we enjoy your post. You do a lot of good work.
Whiskey jug.
Enough with the fucking red licorice, bro. Like, you're not allowed to have it on 2 consecutive posts that we're looking at.
You know, I don't know. Maybe he is, and we just chose like 2.
Fuck that.
We just chose 2
I don't understand why you're defending
Bourbons?
it right now.
Bourbons? I don't know why you're so angry.
I'm angry because first of all, it's like saying I taste Sour Patch Kids and Swedish Fish. Shut the fuck up. You think they were tasting that in fucking 1820 when they started making bourbon?
Okay.
Just keep it in a fucking spectrum of what we all drink.
All right.
Don't stop. Don't try to suppress me.
No, I'm not.
Don't suppress. Both of you get your hands off me.
Random belligerence. Ed edition.
No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Let me try it again. Hey, man, I don't really taste the red licorice.
No, fuck that. Fuck your apology.
No, the apology is like this. I'm sorry you felt that way. That's
the
a
classic
non-apology.
non-apology,
The
yeah.
classic non-apology. I'm sorry that you got upset. Sorry that you didn't taste red licorice.
Okay, so on the finish. Long, spicy, and woody with some notes of raw grains.
Hello.
Red licorice. Fuck you.
If they red licorice to me one more time, we're going to go outside. You know what I'm saying? Enough with the red licorice.
I could go for a Twizzler.
Oh my God. Yeah.
No,
Right?
have you had those like sweet tart ropes? They're like crack.
Sweet tart ropes.
The
No,
only
I don't.
thing I really think of when I hear ropes is porn stars shooting ropes.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
sorry, guys.
Like a pearl necklace?
Oh.
Shooting ropes to a pearl necklace?
Did we advise her on this as an adult?
Oh, yeah. We
Pro-
do that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, there's a disclaimer at the beginning that
yeah.
says foul language is likely.
I wanted to kind of go back to cardamom.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned that you weren't really sure what that was. I thought it was more of a cinnamony thing, but it isn't. It's a complex flavor. It's citrusy, minty, and spicy, which I could say
Citrusy
that is kind of spot
minty,
on a little bit. Yeah.
and spicy. Spicy, I can see, but I'm not
It
sure
says
minty.
It's highly fragrant.
I have to tell you that being that this is the first time, Scott, that I've ever had Henry McKenna.
Okay, we got to talk about this. So, what episode was it?
8, maybe?
Was it 8 that I said that
You had got a bottle of Henry McKenna 10-year.
for my
your
50th birthday?
50th birthday.
Yeah.
And you said that I must have had some, and I told you no, I never had it.
You said no. And Ed, I owe you a sincere apology because you are absolutely correct.
Because you were like, no, you must have had it. I said,
No.
I would know if I had that. I never had it.
And this is the best fucking part of this whole story because not only did I say that you did have
Right.
the Henry McKenna 10-year before,
Right.
and I swore up and down that
And
you
I
did.
told you I never did.
And you told me that you didn't.
Because I knew
Because you didn't.
I didn't.
But earlier today, you said that you'd never had the Russell 10-year before, and that is what I mistook for the McKenna 10-year.
Oh.
They had bought me the Russell's 10-year, so you had the Russell's 10-year before, but you hadn't had the McKenna 10-year
That's
before.
possible. I thought I might have had the Russell even out in a bar once. I mean, we're talking about, when was it? September last year?
Yeah, September. Sue and Steve got it for me for my
Right.
birthday, and it was in my apartment for a while, so
Right.
I'm sure you had a glass or two of it.
It's possible.
We didn't make a big deal about it,
The
but
thing was, there was a lot of whiskeys around. that I
everybody
drank it.
bought me a bottle of whiskey
Yeah,
because
so
they know me.
I wonder why.
Right, so I need to make that clear. Like on Scott's birthday, he
Siobhan
got
didn't.
8 bottles.
You know what? I think by the time your birthday had rolled around, I knew you liked alcohol, but I
8
was.
years? Like, I mean, 8 bottles rather.
yeah, I had
See how Ed just totally railroaded
He did.
as I was talking.
He did, yeah.
That's so
I
rude.
wasn't done talking.
He's saying you interrupted him, and then you're saying he interrupted you.
You can't take more than a 2-second pause. How's that?
That's right. She's
Fair.
going to jump in.
You eat apples?
How about them apples?
It's fair.
Okay, so what's the most interesting thing about that is like we picked these two whiskeys semi-purposefully,
Yes.
but we discovered that they had the same mash bill. And I accused Ed of drinking the one when he had actually had the other, but he didn't think he had either.
That's true.
It's just weird how this shit works
And
out.
I mean, to bring her into the conversation, since she wants to be in the conversation, and it's only right that she's here.
That sounds
damn.
like
No, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, she should be in the conversation more.
She should be in the
Let's
conversation.
talk about when I met Siobhan. So Scott and I had had a night of drinking whiskey, not on the podcast, just drinking as friends do. We had put a hurting on about 2/3 of a bottle of whiskey, and we had decided that we had had enough. I'd actually taken a lift over here because I knew I was going to get buzzed up and I didn't want to drive drunk. So I was ready to take a lift home, and there's a knock at the door, and it's Siobhan. It's the first time I met her. It's Scott's neighbor.
Right. Let me give a little
please.
context. So I moved into the apartment building that I'm in right now a little more than a year ago, and Siobhan is my next door neighbor. So we met at
Yes.
a gathering.
Yes, we did. It was a gathering here.
It was like a happy hour sort of
Yeah,
thing, lots of drinking
Wine
and stuff.
Lots of like free alcohol.
Yeah, I threw around the word cunt a lot, and
was
people
wonderful.
became my friends instantly.
Yes.
So
In spite of that.
no, it was because of that.
Because of that.
Honestly,
It was like-
everyone's like, "Oh my god,
Oh my
this guy
God,
is
cunt's so refreshing."
This guy is saying cunt all the time. Is he English?"
I just thought like, wow, this guy is fun and off the rails when he's drunk.
Right.
We
Or
have
sober.
to maintain a friendship.
We're sober, Ed says. So anyway, Ed, continue.
So we're like proud of ourselves because we didn't finish the complete bottle. Because if you don't think Scott and I normally kill a whole bottle of whiskey without a problem, we do. So we're like proud of ourselves. We're like, hey, we stopped at like, there's like at least a quarter left in the bottle. We're like, all right, we're done. We drank some water.
We restrained
Yeah,
ourselves.
we had a couple of like potato chips maybe. And there's a knock at the door and there's Siobhan. And she's like, hey, me and my friend Karen, we have a bottle of tequila. We'll be downstairs in the common room. Why don't you come hang out? So we're like, yeah, sure. We're hangout people. Hanging out's what we like to do. Drinking whiskey number 1, hanging out number 2.
Wow.
So we go down there. Sure enough, it's a nice bottle of tequila.
Yeah, what was it? Do you remember?
I do not remember. I know it was clear, and I know the bottle was white. That's all I remember.
And I think Karen Karen brought
Karen
it.
bought it, yeah.
So
Another neighbor.
yeah, and so we proceeded to kill that bottle with them.
Yes.
I literally
did.
killed the bottle, the 4 of us. So this starts at around 11 o'clock at night, 10:30, 11, and it's now 2 in the morning. We've killed the tequila, and just for the record, this is a special part. We went back up and got the rest of our whiskey and brought it down.
Yes.
And had another whiskey after we killed the tequila. That's the part that makes it special to me.
Yeah, we
That's
did.
just really, really extra effort.
did, yeah.
Now, fast forward, we're doing a podcast on Eagle Rare and Buffalo Trace. So we record the podcast. We drink about a half a bottle of Eagle Rare 10 year, which is basically can be mentioned with 2 that we're sampling tonight as being just as good. And I almost wish we had some Eagle Rare here because it's another $32, $33 bottle, 10 year.
Right. It's another inexpensive 10-year bourbon.
There's not a lot of them.
No. All right. And I don't want to shout
Okay.
or have a random belligerence moment.
Okay.
But if you want to listen to the episode where we talk about Eagle Rare, it's
Right.
episode number 4.
Right. And after that episode, we went to Siobhan's birthday party when
Yes.
she turned.
40.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole
Yeah.
reason you're here.
Well,
'cause
wait, you're
10
not-
years.
Yeah, I
but-
know it's 10 years, but it could be any 10 years.
Yeah, you didn't
guys.
have to tell
But,
her
you know.
age.
No, but
You want to
no.
hand out my social too?
Hold on.
my place of birth?
No, just your credit card number.
Oh, all right. Hold on, guys.
4217 3159 6875
Expiration date.
4440 expiration 721.
But our listeners already
Number in
know
the back
we're
814.
our listeners already know we're 50. So
Oh, okay.
They're
all
already
right.
gonna know 40,
Yeah,
so,
all right.
yeah.
So, yeah. It's
My
no biggie.
apologies
It's
to
no
who-
big deal
to
anyway,
whatever,
you know.
whoever's card I just gave out.
Oh, my gosh,
that's
I
why.
know.
That's why shows use 555 on there.
Right, exactly.
On telephone numbers.
5555-4444-4333.
So you can't call it.
Right.
So we arrived at the party, and Siobhan, she's cool people, but she'd look one look at us. She's like, you could see her face, like, wow, like you guys are coming to the party drunker than everybody at the party.
Like, I had already kind of known because I think when I was on my way down to the party, I think I could hear you guys.
Yeah, we're
Oh.
probably
Outside
very
the door.
loud. Yeah.
It was an amazing night, by the way. The party was so stacked with food; it was delicious.
It was a great party. I really enjoyed it. Everyone was really cool.
But what was interesting was another guy in the building came down afterwards and brought down a bottle of
Right,
Eagle Rare.
yes.
Right.
So we had a bottle of Eagle Rare that was down to like 1/8 of the bottle, and he brings down a bottle that is like 7/8.
Right.
And we're like, yeah,
we'll just
bro.
keep drinking it, bro. So we don't really know how much Eagle Rare we actually consumed that night. It's
A
well
lot.
over a bottle.
It was well over a half a bottle each.
It became problematic.
I could clearly see that you guys had your fun before arriving, but that's okay because for me, you guys are cool drunks.
When was that? Was that February, March?
Well, my birthday is on Valentine's Day. Here we go again.
Right.
And
Did you say that already?
no, I
Oh.
didn't. No, but I mean, like, here we go. Like, yeah,
Right. Just give her all information.
right, yeah,
Right.
Was
Siobhan,
we-
Mayor
like-
of Jackie's Crossing, birthday, February 14th, 19.
We go down and
79.
we're there.
Right.
Jeez. And this is kind of like that's some of the tomfoolery, which Scott with the 3 hats.
That is going to be the logo for this episode.
So yeah, it was really fun. But I think we've had another time, Ed, that you came down and you were so wasted.
Yeah, I fell asleep on the couch. I think we did a podcast up here.
We're always podcasting. So annoying.
Which time was it where I kept fucking the music up? Was that your birthday party?
Wow, no, I think that was a different time. Ed and I were texting each other, and I said, "Hey, we're going to have a get together tonight. You may want to come through."
Why don't you come through and fuck up the music? So you know that guy at the party that gets drunk and then just keeps like randomly playing songs in the middle of other songs? Like that was me. Not once, not twice. I would say 6 times, maybe.
He's like if the guy who always requests songs from the DJ had his wishes granted every time
if I could go up there and knock
the
the DJ on the side and just put the song on.
So what did you have? You had like a Apple iPad?
An iPad.
I had an iPad, yes.
All the songs playing, and she's like, okay, so just touch it
Tap
lightly.
it lightly and then hit play next.
And Ed's like, oh, smash! Ed wants to listen to the songs!
And then he would deny it. Like, oh, I didn't do that. I didn't do anything.
There's nobody within 10 feet of the iPad except me. Like, no, wait, I didn't do that. I did not do that.
He literally has the iPad in his hands. And his 2 meaty hands are encompassed.
Yes, you can't even see the iPad anymore. The iPad is obscured from view.
I was just like, oh
Just,
boy.
all you see is hand and denial.
It just did
The
that.
best part was after the 3rd time, she stopped dealing with me and would just look at Scott and be like, "What's wrong with your boy?" Like I would change the song and she wouldn't even look at me directly. She would just look at Scott and be like, "Yeah, man. Like,
What are you going to do about
can you
this?
deal with this, please?"
I just literally did like the shrug emoji. It's like, oh, fuck, I'm not his fucking dad.
Actually became like a parent. She's like, "Ed, you listen to me. You are not allowed to touch the. No, seriously, look at me." Don't touch the iPad. I was like, but I want to hear songs. I'm like, no! Say smash! Zach was so bad on the spring. But yeah, basically that's it.
That was very fun.
All right, let's summate. Let's summate real quick.
Sum it up.
Surmise?
Surmise? No.
Summation?
Summarize.
Summarize?
For $41.99, the Russel 10-year from Wild Turkey is a very nice expression. You will not be disappointed, but I'm sorry, the 10-year McKenna from Heaven Hill is a delicious, delicious spirit.
I agree as well.
It's 100 proof, so it gets you there a little bit quicker, a little sicker, a little wickeder. But, I mean, it's no disrespect to the Russells. It's a nice product. You can enjoy it.
How many iPad fingers would you give it?
I would give it 4. I would give the Russells 4 meaty fingers, and the McKenna, I'll give it a 4 meaty fingers and a thumb for the McKenna. Give it a full 5.
Nice.
Meaty fingers.
I'll give it a meaty fist.
Oh, damn. Oh, my God. All right, so just before we...
Edit that.
Absolutely not.
Just before we leave, I want to kind of list some of the other 10-year bourbons that are out there. This is on distiller.com. The best 10-year bourbons under $100. Number 7, Redemption Barrel Proof 10-year High Rye Bourbon.
Hard to find, by the way, if you're looking for it.
2017 edition. Number 6, Basil Hayden's 10-year bourbon.
Also, hard to find.
Yeah,
if you're looking for
I
it.
haven't seen it. Number 5, Rebel Yell Single Barrel Bourbon 10-year.
I don't like the regular Rebel Yell, but maybe I'd like that.
One we considered for this podcast, Bulleit 10-year bourbon.
It's delicious.
We like the Bulleit.
It's very nice.
You know we do.
I think it would probably still come in second to the McKenna here, but I think it might edge out the Russel.
Maybe. Number 3, the McKenna 10-year bottled in bond bourbon.
Delicious.
Number 2, Eagle Rare, the 10-year bourbon.
I wish I had that here actually to compare to the McKenna.
Previously discussed in episode 4, and I will not be angry if you have not listened to the episode 4. And the number 1, Russell's 10-year reserve bourbon.
Interesting. I mean, once again, it has merits. I don't agree with that. If they switched the McKenna with the Russell and they made the McKenna 1 and the Russell 3, I'd be completely okay with it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm looking for a year on this article, but I do not see one. So I don't know when it was that they decided. But actually, it doesn't matter.
Hey,
So-
it's fine. Listen, everyone's got their own taste. And you might taste the Russell and the McKenna and might be like, you know what? I like the peppery and the cinnamon of a flavor of the Russells better than the McKenna. Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Well, that Russell really does have a bite. And sometimes that's one of the things that attracts people to it so much.
Right.
Because
And what's funny is it's 10 proof lower, but it has a bigger bite than the McKenna, which is kind of interesting.
Right.
It is very interesting.
Well, I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with either one if you're out in the world and it's on the menu of a nice whiskey bar.
Did we talk about how much we paid for the Russell?
Yeah, I think I did.
And the McKenna?
They're very close. The Russell was $41.99 and the McKenna was $39.99. $87 for both of them with tax.
And like I said, the McKenna, that was a deal that he got because like I saw was $70 and it was all sold
that's
out.
what it should be. And that's what I want to talk about. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
There's now a secondary aftermarket within the first market. So, like, for example, Blanton's. That's the octagonal bottle with the horse on top. A lot of people recognize it. It's a delicious expression. It's been very hard to find this year. And so now, what normally was $52, $54, $55, you can see on shelves for $75, $76 because it's hard to find. You're seeing the same type of thing happen in the McKenna. After it won all its awards, it's starting to sell out. People want it. So now that $30 bottle of McKenna is $55, or even, as Scott saw it today, for $69 because they're like, hey, you want it? Come buy it.
Right.
That's not what Heaven Hill is offering it as. It's what they can get.
Yep.
And the same thing happens in something like the Blood Oath. They're up to Expression 5. Expression 3 and Expression 4 could be quite expensive. Same thing happens with Whistle Pig. Some of their older expressions are now considered almost like an investment. The difference is, though, if I buy a Whistle Pig Boss Hog and I hold it for 5 years and I sell it for $300 more, that's the aftermarket. We're talking about liquor stores getting a $32 bottle and marketing up to $62 because they can. So you need to educate yourself on what the product should be costing you before you go out.
Right. Absolutely. If you have like 3 or 4 liquor stores around you, I don't care if you have to drive 10 miles.
It's worth it.
You should go and price compare. Mm-hmm. You should absolutely do that. So we can talk about Angel's Envy Rye, which is around $100 a bottle in our area. So you go to anywhere and it's going to be $99.99. But I went to one of the local liquor stores and the guy who buys the whiskey happened to be in the aisle at the same time. They were restocking shelves or something. And he said, what are you looking for? And I said, I see your Angel's Envy Rye is $89.99, which is $10 cheaper than I've seen it in a long, long time. And he's like, yeah, I mean, it's actually become a little bit more prevalent, so I was able to lower the price, and you almost never see that. And I was like, wow, that's really interesting. And I fucking bought a bottle.
And
I did, and that's what we tasted our last episode.
Correct. And then our Whiskey Lounge, we have a bottle of it there.
Yeah, but we paid more for it there.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, because they paid more for it.
Correct.
Because wherever they get their liquor from,
We paid $110. It wasn't crazy.
No, but they charge a little bit of upcharge.
They give us an uptick on that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to just sum up by that by saying be careful when you go out looking for the McKenna 10-year. If it's at 70, buy the Russell. I'll tell you that right now.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you right now.
Or you drive to the other liquor store and see if they have it for free.
Drive it around.
Why not? There's no reason you can walk into a liquor store and not buy a bottle of liquor. I mean, you go to a liquor store and you feel compelled. I even felt it the other day. I walked into 3 liquor stores. I didn't buy a single thing, but I felt weird leaving without actually having something.
I actually, about 2 weeks ago, the weird thing happened. I went to 3 liquor stores in one day looking for something. And I actually did buy something in every store. I had 3 different companies.
That's how they get you.
I'm like, because each one had something that, I didn't think I wanted that, but look at that price. I'm going to buy that.
Right.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thank you to Siobhan for being here with us again.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank
Siobhan.
you. Thanks for having me, guys. I enjoy it immensely. Bye.
Later.
If you enjoyed this podcast episode, be sure to check out our next episode, which is way better than this one.
Oh, yeah.
Also, follow and like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Whiskey Tangent. And follow us on Twitter at Whiskey Tangent. You can follow me personally at That Whiskey Guy. And follow Scott at Giant Cup of Awesome, spelled AWSUM, just to be annoying.
Hey.
You can email us any questions, comments, or love at whiskeytangent@gmail.com. And of course, you can find us always at our podcast website, whiskeytangent.podbean.com.